It's a big club, and we ain't in it. The Federal Reserve sent out a warning letter back at Valentine's Day, February 14th. And it talked about the banks, and it talks about the one bank that failed first. They knew about it. They knew it before anybody else. This letter has restricted all over it. Redacted, restricted, all this stuff all over it. I've got it. It's in the description. Thank you, the Economic Ninja, and thank you, Dan Allegedly. I talked to them both this morning, and they both agree this is a big deal, and I want you to understand it and get it completely. And when you do, please share this video and hit the like button because I want everybody to get it. I'm being shadow banned 100% for sure. People have been unsubscribed 3 and 4 times from my channel. They're not getting notifications. So check that too. See if you're subscribed. A growing number report unrealized losses that threaten capital at third quarter end. 722 banks report unrealized losses they haven't even realized yet, exceeding up to and more than 50% of capital. That means they don't have your money. This means probably, I'm speculating, that the government's going to say, hey, we got to hold up on these withdrawing your money. 31 of these banks report negative tangible equity levels. Some banks are taking actions to shelter further market losses, including changing the accounting treatment of their securities. Thus, their intent to use securities for liquidity purposes. Retain more tangible capital. All this makes me think of bank bail-ins and limits. Banks may need to curtail future lending activity due to limited funding options. Banks will face difficulty in liquidating securities without realizing losses. Banks may need to sacrifice earnings to maintain liquidity. They knew about Silicon Valley Bank. It's right here in their letter. It said, example of financial risk. Silicon Valley Bank, the 18th largest bank in the organization, has significant interest rate risk. The bank used significant deposit growth to purchase longer maturity securities. So they knew about it, just like Jerome Powell knew about the other bank that was failing, as he was telling everybody the banking sector's fine. We're solid, nothing to see here. Warren Buffett comes out, all these people coming out saying, hey, we're fine, you're not gonna lose your money, you better not take it out of the bank, you're good, you better leave that in there. All right, read it for yourself. It's in the description. All of it's there. And share the video. Somebody with a pleb, with somebody that's not paying attention, somebody that you know, a rube, somebody that just thinks what's happened the last 60 years is just going to keep on happening. You know, the recency biased crowd. Next, China has been buying gold for 6 months in a row to protect its money from things like inflation and a weak American dollar. They bought about 8.09 tons in April alone, bringing their total around 2,076 tons. We don't know how much gold they got. They've got gold mines over there. They took one of them away from Robert Kiyosaki. They would lie when the truth would do better. And when somebody asks you, why do you buy gold? Why do you think that's a good thing? It's just a rock you pay people to stand by and guard. No, it holds wealth. It retains wealth. Why is China buying it? And I've heard this lately. Russia can make a nuclear something or another with a bunch of fancy words and make gold. Just that simple. Well, why is China still buying it? Why is Russia buying it? Why is Turkey and Singapore? Why are all these people buying hordes of it? See, this is taking supply off the market, which will eventually make the price go to all new levels. That's the only way. There's only so much. And the world according to the World Gold Council, Singapore, China, Turkey were among the biggest buyers. And their concerns were slowing U.S. economy, credit stress, increasing fragile American relations. China's end April foreign currency reserves rose to 3.2 trillion. So they're getting into foreign currencies as well. They're diversifying. Oh, and I got a note right here at the bottom. I was talking to my friend, he's a money manager, and he said, you wouldn't believe my people, they don't get it. They don't understand. He said, I just had one guy buy all CDs, and he had another guy buy all dividend paying stocks. Guys, why not take some risk off the table? Risk off. Volatile environment. Buy something hard. Buy some food. Invest in your food 401k, your tool 401k, things you're going to need in the future. You're going to make so much in the stock market. I bet the food prices are going to do you better if you bought food. If you buy a whole cow when I told you to, you probably would have done pretty good. I think maybe 15%. So, I mean, it's just simple things. I'm a simple person. I buy hard assets and things that pay me to own them and grow businesses. You know, those kind of actions just really, it makes me think of pleb, rube, people that just don't care, and then sometimes you get these people say, oh, God's in control, doo-doo-doo. That ain't how it works. Nope. Be prudent. New York, amongst all this craziness, is the first state in the country to ban natural gas stoves and other fossil fuels in new buildings, to a move that could spark pushback from fossil fuel interests. And it also is going to push people towards green weenie appliances. All this is a big push towards ESGism. Their worshipful master, the one that the greenies want to serve the most, is really what they want to do. Buildings account for 32% of New York State planet warming emissions. And they're saying that methane is the main component of natural gas used for fuel stoves and to heat homes. It has more than 80 times as much warming power as carbon dioxide in the first 2 decades it's in the atmosphere. So we should just not use it. That is, the science is out. Here we go again with the old pesky science. So New York's doing what they do. If you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And the price for that is going to be a bunch of cold people. And, that are cooking on, I don't know, I guess electric stoves. And I wonder where they get that electricity from. Where does that power generated from, by the way? Just wondering. Okay, now this is pretty wild, and I'm going to elaborate on this a little bit. And a lot of you already know there's 700,000 Mexicans and who knows what across the border. I'm not poking fun at you Mexican guys. I know a bunch of awesome Mexican people that are here illegally because they came over here to provide better for their family. I cannot blame you. If I was in Mexico, I would be hanging on the fence. They'd probably already kicked me out about 10 times because I would do whatever it took to provide. I get it, all right? But the facts are, a foreign population larger than Boston, Massachusetts, is at the Mexican border waiting for Title 42 to be out of the way, and that's this Thursday, May 11th. That's the Title 42 at the border, ensuring that federal immigration offices have been able to quickly return millions of illegals. Well, that's being done away with. Biden doesn't want that. And now, so they're piling up over there in camps, just waiting to come on over. There is currently a large influx of immigrants wanting to cross the Mexican border. Now this puts me in mind of The Storm Before the Storm. That's a book, the Dollar Milkshake guy. Why does it evades me? I'll think of him in a minute. But he mentioned, I went to see him, I talked to him in Miami, and he was talking about the storm before the storm. And I said, okay, I'll read it. And I did. You would be surprised at the takeaways that are going on here. So I got some examples of how immigration helped, destroy and lead to the fall of Rome. It was one of the many things, but check it out. For instance, Rome experienced large waves of immigration before its fall in the 4th century. The Roman Empire began to see an influx of foreign tribes and refugees that ultimately contributed to its collapse. And you think, why? Why were they doing that in Rome? To seek better living conditions, to escape war, to escape persecution, to seek opportunity. It sounds familiar, right? Well, in some cases, and this is interesting, in some cases they would reward the immigrants. They would give them land and then other things and make them allies and soldiers That's just kind of just an odd fact. That happened in Rome. The potential influx of immigrants could have significant consequences for the U.S. immigration system, including processing and resources. Rome faced similar challenges with resources and processing, leading to the social and economic instability that ultimately led to, the fall of Rome. And there's one last one on Rome I wanted to share with you, and we'll end with this. Another factor during the Roman Empire's decline was a breakdown of traditional values, including adultery and sexual promiscuity. This led to the decline of the family structure and social stability. Similarly, the U.S. could potentially face similar issues with the breakdown of traditional values if it does not address the root cause, which it says immigration, but I'm going to go ahead and say our traditional values. If we were to follow the Bible and the Constitution, none of this would be going on. None of it. That's the fix. That's it. I went through a course at church. I guess you call it a class, a Bible study. It was by Tony Robbins, and it was called Kingdom Man. And it's the truth. We've got to have kingdom men that lead this country. It's got to be that way, or it will not work. It is falling apart. We've got crony capitalism, and that's led by greed and just it's literally smoke and mirrors. Everything's fake. All of it's a bad joke that people are going to pay for. These people that have all their money in dividend-paying stocks, I just can't imagine it. I can't imagine going into the Thunderdome without some precious metals. There's the Texas boys right there calling me. Get back to you. All right, guys. So I appreciate you being here. Have an awesome, awesome day. I'll see you in the next one. Later.